Working at a grocery store, I guess he noticed me, said, "Hey, little Reg, you know who I am?" And he introduced himself as Keefy D from Compton Southside Crip. And I laughed, thought it was strange that he was still claiming to be an active gang member when he was actually a snitch.
Sheesh. My man Scandalous, Los Angeles. Did the Tupac unalignment witness Reggie Wright lie to the grand jury, or did he lie to TMZ? See what this is about.
Welcome back to Scandalous Los Angeles TV, where we expose the exposers. Man, after all these years, the Tupac murder trial is finally getting ready to begin. And it's crazy how they use these types of situations to steer the public's mind. Think about it. Tupac died 30 years ago, and this trial is just now happening, right at the brink of World War III, the Epstein files, and all that stuff. It's amazing the way they use these events to take the attention off of what is really going on behind the scenes. Speaking of timing, Big U's trial begins next February. So when February rolls around, let's pay real close attention to what else is happening in the world. These guys are very crafty, but the Tupac murder trial is here. Keefy D is getting ready to go stand trial for the murder. A murder that we all know he did not commit or assist in. Meanwhile, Reggie Wright Jr. is being allowed to be called a witness in this whole thing, while at the same time being a lead suspect.
Your key witness orchestrated this. They top witness is the lead suspect.
Kinda sounds like Wack in Big U's case, huh? These guys be wearing 3 and 4 hats in one case. It's crazy because Reggie just went on TMZ for an interview and told a flat-out lie, clearly forgetting the story he told the grand jury during his deposition. So we are going to tear this entire case apart, piece by piece. And let's be crystal clear about the agenda playing out right in front of our eyes. What you are witnessing is the orchestrated real-time framing of a black man for a murder he didn't commit.
Now, it's kind of a wonder, though, like, if he didn't do it, who did do it? Because it's a lot going on with this Tupac case.
Tupac murder trial has become a pretty big topic of discussion for people in the country, and I thought it would be advantageous to bring in someone who was the former head of security at Death Row Records and also a witness that the prosecution has called to the trial, and that's none other than Reggie Wright Jr. Reggie, thank you so much for joining me today.
Respect for having me, Jackson.
Of course. Now, look, I just want to get right into it. People online state that you've known Keefy D for quite a long time. Is that true?
Yeah, they don't know what they're talking about. Like I said, I worked in law enforcement from 1985 until 1996. So, of course, I heard of his name because he had a pretty good
that's a smooth 10 years.
reputation as far as being a leader of set in Compton that pushed heavy narcotics. But in any personal interactions with him, I never had with Keefy D. In any personal interactions with him, I never had with Keefy D.
So you've never met Keefy D before?
In 2012 or 2014 in 2012 or 2014 in the city of Corona, his wife was working at a grocery store. It's called Henry's. And I was walking out. I guess he noticed me coming out of the grocery store. He walked up and said, "Hey, little Reg, you know who I am?" And I looked at him and pretty much said, "No." And he introduced himself as Keefy D from Compton Southside Crip. And I laughed. It was funny to me because I asked him, "They still allow you to claim Compton Southside Crip?" Knowing that all the allegations and the snitching that he had done on murder rap and a document that I knew of that happened in 1998 where he was pretty much talking, running his mouth while he was in jail then. And so I thought it was strange that he was still claiming to be a active gang member when he was actually a snitch.
The TMZ reporter asks Reggie point blank if he's ever met Keefy D. At first, Reggie tries to play it off, claims he has never had any interactions with him. But when the reporter presses him and asks, So you've never, ever met him. Suddenly, Reggie's memory gets jogged. He backpedals and claims they met exactly one time, somewhere around 2013 or 2014. That is his official story for the TMZ cameras. But watch this. Let's head over to Choke No Jokes channel, where he is reading straight from Reggie's actual grand jury deposition. I want you to hear exactly what Reggie told them behind closed doors. Because right now, there is only one question that needs to be answered. Is Reggie lying to TMZ, or did he just get caught lying to the grand jury?
And by they, you mean the members of the Pyrus who were showing up or planning?
Damn, Scandalous Los Angeles be doing his due diligence. Sheesh. Either you're lying to the grand jury or you're lying to TMZ. Reggie Wright, what's the truth? What's the truth, Reggie Wright? Now we want to know, man. Now we trying to kind of see, man, what's going on with this little 1-2 step like Sierra.
On showing up at the Soul Train Awards? Yeah, with us, with Death Row Record, with the Death Row record label. Yes, sir. And so I knew the head of security at the Shrine, and I tipped him off, rat bastard, right? I tipped him off to what was about to happen and to only allow a limited amount of people in which they did. And so who was allowed in through the artist interest or the back interest? Mr. Knight, Mr. Shakur, and he had about 3 or 4 members of the Outlaws, which would be Edie, Malcolm Green, I believe, Malcolm Greenwich, and 2 other members. And there was a singing artist by the name of Danny Boy. They were in the Hummer. Mr. Knight, they were in the Hummer with Mr. Knight. Myself and Frank Alexander, which was Mr. Shakur's primary security, was trailing behind them, and I was riding in the passenger seat of Mr. Alexander's vehicle. I'm going to fast forward in this event a little bit. At some point, there was a confrontation between Death Row and Bad Boy Records, right? During or backstage of the show. Yes, sir. So what happened was like I said, they elected to have Biggie Smalls or Mr. Wallace perform, and they were leaving. They were planning on leaving probably because they knew that Death Row was coming. I don't know, but they were planning on leaving. You don't know, but they were planning on leaving. How the hell you would know they were leaving or not?
Yeah, how do you know they plan on leaving or not? Like if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. That, like, I don't know what they were planning on leaving. Like, that doesn't make sense at all. Either you know or you don't. The conversation is just flu flammers.
As we were going into the auditorium or exiting our vehicles to go into the auditorium, they were coming out. So I guess it was bad timing, and then there were an argument that followed with a little gunplay or a pointing. Here we go. This is the bombshell, y'all. So who was the argument between? Mr. Shakur was the most vocal, Mr. Wallace, and then his entourage. And when you speak about Mr. Wallace's entourage were there any members? You had mentioned either earlier, Southside Crips have been doing security for Bad Boy. Were there any members of the Southside Crips with Mr. Wallace during this incident? Yes. There were approximately 10 to 15 gentlemen that were exiting, and I noticed about 8 to 10, maybe 9 that I know from the city of Compton, from my law enforcement days. And I did notice one particular individual. And one particular individual, who did you notice? Mr. Keefe D. Davis, or Dwayne Davis.
So Reggie tells TMZ that sometime around 2012 or 2014, he bumps into Keefe D at a grocery store. According to Reggie, Keefe D calls out to him saying, "Little Reggie, do you know who I am?" And Reggie claims he looked at him.
Being in a grocery store and somebody calling you Little Reggie and asking you to know if they know who you are is absolutely barnacles. But this is a situation that is kind of, now you got to wonder about it. I never thought about it until I saw Scandalous Los Angeles bring it up. Well, who is he lying to? Is he lying to TMZ? Is he lying to the grand jury? What exactly is going on here? I'm not 100% sure.
And had absolutely no idea who the man was. Okay, let's pause right there. If Reggie didn't know who Keefe D was in 2012 or 2014, how exactly did he know who he was during that gunpoint incident after the award show back in 1995/96? You know, the exact same incident he was detailing to the grand jury. This is exactly why we are saying there is a massive lie somewhere in here.
Okay, all right, I get what you're saying now, I get it.
You go on TMZ and swear up and down you didn't know the man at the grocery store. You claim he knew you, but you didn't know him. But somehow, according to Reggie's testimony to the grand jury, back at that award show, out of all the Southside Crips standing there, he magically knew who one of them was, and it just so happened to be Keefe D. These guys are just going to keep talking themselves right into their own traps.
Sheesh. Sheesh. What is this? We finna get up out of here to the next one, man. Red dot to the left, you know the rest. Say a prayer and be blessed. We gone.